welcome back everyone. Let's go racing! Ah, nice slow start, because this is an enduro race. So this week we're at the Tera Nova, hosted by Offroad Ontario and the Halton group. So we start off on the golf course. It's a nice easy start because we're just doing a transit straight out the gate over to the first test. So yeah, this race was pretty hard going. It took it was 3 hours for me, and even though it was going pretty good, and I was very happy with my performance up until the penultimate test, where I'm just gonna say it now. I got completely stuck in the mud for about 15 minutes, and that completely ruined my entire race. I got no one to blame other than myself. So yeah, today I'm here with Jesse, and there's also Chris. He started on a row further back than I did. I just picked this row because Jesse told me to pick this row, and you can see him ahead of me. Sorry, I had COVID when I got back from fucking the UK, and I've still got this lingering cough. So if I cough throughout this video, I'm sorry about that. Just drink some tea, delicious tea. That'll help keep the coughing fits down whilst I try and talk. Or not. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, so this is the first test. I wasn't really warmed up enough, as I started dramatically finding out quite quickly into the test. On the second test, it was much longer, but I was riding what I feel a lot better. This test was really good fun though. It was quite whoopy out the gate, and then I make a mistake, and I actually lose quite a bit of time, quite annoyingly. I think it's just coming up. I go around this corner. Yeah, I blow this corner, and then of course I didn't turn the meat as fast enough, and now I'm stuck on a stupid log. It feels like an eternity when I'm just stood here like faffing around. I guess I only lost like 10 seconds, but this test wasn't particularly long, and it threw me off for the rest of the thing. I was going all over the place. Can't ride for shit. But yeah, this was a really fun style of race. I've never done an enduro before, so I didn't hugely understand what I was getting into. But now I know. Now I get it. And I also realised after like the third test that the arrows on the trees were kind of giving me a clue of which way to go next. Because every time I looked up, I was like, okay, I saw an arrow. Okay, I'm going the right way. But then I realised after a while, wait a second. Oh, he's over. I was like, oh, actually that arrow kind of tells me what's coming up next. I just got to learn to look further ahead and pay attention to those arrows, because they actually really do help. So I went around this guy through off the bridge. Now the story for later on that second to last test, I think it was the Barker test. Everybody else took about 20 minutes to do it, or even less, and I think had I not got stuck for 15 minutes, it probably would have taken about 20 minutes to do. Now, what happened was, I came up to this, that bit is much wetter than this bit here, much wetter, and it's quite swampy, and there's a lot of bridges, right? And I went over the first bridge, and I was like, cool. And I get to this next area, and there was 4 guys trying to push their bike through the mud, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess this is, like, there was a few muddy sections, like, you know, like swampy muddy sections. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just go around them. That bit to the left of them looks perfectly fine. As soon as I go into it, I realised it was like a swamp, and my whole bike just sunk down into, like, this suction mud, and it, like, I was like, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. Had I spent another 10 seconds looking, I would have noticed to the right of the 4 guys stuck in the mud that there was a bloody bridge. Oh my god. And because I was quite far from the bridge now, because I went to the left of the 4 guys pushing through, they all pushed their bikes through. They just got off, walked the bike and pushed, and like they got through. But because I went to the left, I was like further downhill, so to speak, and I was basically just in the swampy section. So I was trying to like, I tilted the bike over, and I was trying to like get the bike up and out of the mud, because my front wheel was just sinking in, so every time I like throttled on, the bike just dug deeper into the mud from the front. And I was trying to lift the front up, and it was just not working, because I couldn't lift the front whilst throttling, whilst trying to push at the same time. And I tipped it over, and I started putting bits of sticks and stuff that I found, but it was really hard to walk around, and like my foot peg kept getting stuck on a tree that I just needed help. And then luckily some nice gentleman named Fox came over, took sympathy on me as he saw me in the mud. He came, helped me. We got out in about 2 minutes, probably a good 3 to 5 minutes of his time wasted, but I'm thanking him very, very much. And then, oh my god, the worst bit was he got on, rode off, and I was exhausted by this point because I've been trying to yank the bike out of the mud for like last 10 minutes. So I got on the bike, I start riding. I ride round the next corner, and I hadn't thought that there was mud all over my brake discs, so my brakes didn't work, and I immediately went straight into another fucking puddle because I saw where I didn't want to go. I pull the brakes on, target fixation, but my brakes don't work, so I just glided very slowly into another fucking mud hole. Oh god, I'm so dumb. Yeah, anyway, so that ruined my entire race. And that section, a lovely lady, because that wasn't as bad because I was right next to the bridge. So I just tipped the bike onto the bridge. And then a lovely lady, she also got stuck behind me and took a little bit of sympathy. I don't know her name or her number, but she helped me just hold the front whilst I picked the bike up onto the bridge. So I thank her very much as well. I have no idea what her name, what number is, or bike number is, but thank you to the lady if you happen to ever watch this and remember there was an idiot stuck to the side of a bridge. That was me. Thank you very much. I was so exhausted by that point, so I just rode shit for the rest of the race, but luckily there was only like close to the end of that section, and I was still able to make it over the log hops pretty happily and got past a load of people. But like, overtaking people in this doesn't hugely matter, because it's all just about your time. It's all like a time trial basically. Some people didn't really hear my revving. I think I just need to start shouting, but even though I had tested negative 3 days before this race, I still was feeling like a little bit off, and my voice was feeling a bit weird, and you know, it's like those residual side effects. So I didn't really feel like shouting because my throat wasn't feeling great with all the riding. Stupid fucking virus. Anyway, yeah, so another thing that I learned was during the transit sections, you can literally just take a break and relax, have a sandwich, pop out a thermos, have a cup of tea, you know, anything you want really. Because after that, being stuck in the mud for so long, I was starting to panic, thinking like, oh my god, I'm going to time out, because there's an hour time limit on a little flip chart that you see at the start. And but entering that test, I was like, I was already at like 32 minutes, and I was like, oh my god, I'm running out of time. So I was thinking, fuck, if I've just lost 15 to 20 minutes, because I wasn't 100% sure, and it felt like I was stood there for about 10 days. So I was like, I'm going to be right at the limit. So I didn't take a break when I got to the fuel stop. I just literally raced up, fueled my bike, sorry, and then just immediately shot off again to get to the next thing. And I get to the next thing, and it was like 49 minutes. I was like, oh, I was fine. I could have, I guess, like the time that they had anticipated people to wait at the fuel stop and rest and all that sort of stuff, because I just like blast through it as fast as possible and I didn't take a break. It means I didn't time out, but it also means I didn't get a break. But now I know for the future, so that's actually quite comforting. This is apparently like the easiest enduro race, and I can see why, because the trail is beautiful. Like, I've spent this whole video just whining, but about my own performance. But we're looking around and look at the leaves. It was absolutely beautiful. The fall colours, the autumn leaves. Canada is just incredible, and the trails here are so flowy. Like, there is nothing difficult. This whole ride is just like pristine, flowy trails. It is incredible. So if there was ever an enduro race to start out on in future, if you've never done one before, this is the enduro race to go and do, because it's simple. It is such a beautiful ride, and like, you know, worst comes to worst, you just take it easy and just relax, and just take it as like a trail ride. I mean, one of the tests is basically just ride the whole of Lorden, which was pretty cool. Actually, they cut some new trails actually for that, so that I didn't really know it, because there's new trails, and I've never ridden I've never ridden those new trails this year. And I mean, it's a route through Lorden that I have never personally done, but you know, I recognised a little bit of it, and then the next thing you know, you're like, oh, all these new trails, and it was really sweet actually. It's really flowy trails. What an event. I really enjoyed this. And also what's really cool about this event is because I get to watch like other people's videos, so I can see how they ride through the same sections, because like usually the afternoon classes have like harder things to do, or it just doesn't feel the same. But when I see the people overtake me in this environment, like obviously I know that they're a much higher skill rider. I never get to see like a pro person pass me in a normal race, like so. And in this race, there was definitely some pros going by me, and holy shit, like I felt like I was standing still compared to those guys. So it is like awe-inspiring to see the videos, and it's like it was insane to just see how good the good riders are when they actually pass you in the trails. I like, wow, I have so much to learn, and that really like inspires me. It makes me want to get out and just like practice more. Oh my god, this is the final event of the season for me, and the season's going to start winding down in like a few weeks, because as soon as we hit December, all the trails close. So yeah, this year's been fucking fantastic. I think I've almost hit 100 hours on my bike now. I've not ridden as much as I thought I had this year. I've only done like 96 total, so I've done 46 hours, 40 hours, so slightly less than last year actually. A bit disappointing. I guess I've been a bit busy, weddings and holidays. So yeah, anyway, I think that'll do for this video. See ya.